Alright, g'day guys and welcome back to another Realmworks video. Today we're going to be looking at some advanced data entry techniques that can basically be used to speed up the way you put data into Realmworks. We're going to be using Microsoft Excel and having a look at some of the VBA that I've been using within that, which is a programming language. I just want to make it clear before we start though, I can't teach you how to do these things. If you want to get proficient with Microsoft Excel, you're going to need to go away to Google and really sort of put some effort in and do your own research. This is advanced techniques. I wouldn't expect your average user to be able to do this, but I'm making this video to sort of open your mind to the sort of things that can be achieved if you think outside the box. Alright, so let's jump over to Realmworks and have a look. Alright, so in front of me you've got basically Realmworks and it's completely empty. This is a fresh realm, there's nothing in there. And I want to get my realm in. Now, obviously everyone knows that you can import and the content market is available now, so you can go and get content, but if there's something you want to get in that doesn't have content on the content market yet, and I'm going to say something that has a repeatable pattern to it, then this is sort of something that you can do. Now, by repeatable pattern, I mean something that you're doing over and over and over again, and it's got a similar sort of feel to the formatting. So spells, for example, monsters, these are things that have a pattern. This method probably wouldn't work very well for adventures, but you can certainly give it a crack. So what I've done is I've got Microsoft Excel. And as I said, I'm not here to teach you how to do this. I'm just going to show you that I've done it and what sort of thing is achievable. So what I've got is a spreadsheet that I've designed that basically takes the formatting of a PDF and when pasted in here will manipulate that formatting into a table. Alright, and then with that table I would go over to the Realmworks import tool, I would create an export file and I'll put that into Realmworks. So just let me show you how it works first so you get the idea in your head. We're going to come down here and grab a monster. I'm working on the Tomb of Horrors by Frog God Games at the moment. Mafisol. I think I'm down this way a bit. Alright, here we go. So we're going to go Stone Shard. I'm going to copy his stat block. And I'm going to come in here to my tool and paste it in. And you can see here I've got some words on the left that I need to make sure line up with everything. So I'll just manipulate the text so it's all on the right line. That's damage immunities, that's right. You notice here that I'm not cut and pasting directly to the cells. I'm going into the text box and cut and pasting. The reason why I'm doing this is I don't want to impact all the cells that I've got and formulas going on, so that's one way to do that. Probably a few guys watching who might know what I'm talking about. Just bring the languages up. And put the challenge rating in where it needs to go. Alright, so now we've got everything on the right line. So now I'll go back to my PDF and I'll grab the next set of data, which is the special abilities. What I'll do is break this down so you can see what I'm doing a bit better. Just for speeding things up here, I like to do it all in one cell. I put 2 break lines between things that I'm going to put in the into one cell, but with spaces between the break lines. Once it gets into Realmworks, you need 2 break lines to do that. If you don't know how to put a break line into Excel, it's Alt and Enter from within one of these. Alright, so now we've got that. I'm going to start pasting these into my cells underneath. I've actually got one here that's a bit different. I've only programmed this thing to work for 6 special abilities because generically that's pretty much what most of them have. So what I'm going to do is just basically put it into the last one, and then I'll make a note to go into Realmworks afterwards and separate the special abilities. Just save me having to recreate the tool. Alright, so now actions. We'll come in here and we'll grab the actions and do the same thing. And as you can see, there's a fair bit of typing and formatting sort of thing going on here. I'm doing it quite fast, but that's the nature of the job, right? You can't really get away with doing it. I just find it quicker to do in Excel than I do into Realmworks. Bonus action, that's interesting. That's outside of the standard. I'll stick that as a reaction. Alright, there we go. Legendary actions. Quite a big monster, as you can see. Alright, what do we got left? Layer actions. And then regional effects. Alright, one last, nearly there. And as you can see, I am doing rather large monsters at the moment. I've gone through and done all the easy ones already. Alright, so I've now laid out this monster into this column B. And if you've been paying attention, you would have seen some changes starting to happen along this row 2 up here. And what it's doing is it's basically stripping out all of the content and getting it ready to basically put into the tool. Now, I've got a heap of hidden columns under here. And you'll see this is where the work is getting done. So, you know, it's basically stripping out content from this text and putting it into a method that it can utilize to sort of manipulate it into the formatting that needs to be put into Realmworks. I've put a lot of effort into this section down here, which is the special traits onwards, in order to apply formatting to it. And you'll see over here that it's taking the text and it's actually applying the formatting as it goes. Quite happy with the way this is working, especially with, like, I managed to get the bold and the italics working here for the melee weapon attacks. That took a fair bit of work. Now, the way that is all working is in VB, so there's a bit more of an advanced technique. But we'll hide this, and I'll show you the next step here. Once I've put the monster in, I click this button, copy new monster, and that basically copies it to this line, adds it to my table. So as you can see, that's relatively quick to put a monster in, and as I said, that was an advanced monster, so that took me longer than normal. But in about 2 hours, I was able to put 30% of the book in basically the other night. So pretty damn happy with that. Now, what I would do with this is copy it into a new Excel spreadsheet. Just like to keep things clean. So I'll paste that in there. Just do array heights. All right, so I've got my table. It's now ready to be entered into Realmworks. And what I can do is I can save that. We're going to put that into. Go into here. And what are we going to call that? Tomb of Horrors. All right. Once I've saved it, I can go into my Realmworks importer. We need to load the data, so again, I just put that into here. All right, that loads it. Then I need to load the structure. The structure is a file that I've created inside of Realmworks and exported. I've made videos on that before, I'm pretty sure. All right, now I'm going to basically come down here and say I want to make a Tomb of Horrors creature. I'm going to say, here's your name, and I'm going to basically start dragging all these over. Haven't used any of these. Once you've done this, you can save it, so you don't have to keep doing this over and over again. Ability scores. I just stuffed that up, didn't I? Alright, now we get into the special traits. Bit of a lengthy process. But the amount of time it saves you is significant. Almost there. Alright, I'm going to add a parent for this. Get rid of that one, get rid of that one. I just did that the wrong way, but I'm going to call this a general danger. Alright, we're going to add a suffix of Tomb of Horrors, just so it's all there. We're going to make sure the plural is not visible. Alright, and then we're going to generate the file. The parent topical article needs a name. I thought I just did that. Alright, we'll generate the name, we'll save it. Oh yeah, looks like I've got some issues. So challenge rating stops at 25 in Realmworks. I've got a few creature tags that don't exist. I've got a spelling error in one of the alignments. I'm just going to take a screenshot of this and I'll go back and fix these. Benefit of this awesome tool. Alright, so that file there is now ready to import. With errors and all, I don't know how that'll work. Alright, so we're going to import that away. So now Realmworks will do its thing, it's just doing the import on the other screen. Usually pretty quick, we're at 60% already. It's only importing text, not pictures, so it does it pretty efficiently. 5, nearly there. And we're loading back up. Alright, and there we go. So, the import's completed. You can see I've got all of these monsters created. You can see that I've got basically all of the content in the right location. And then when you come down here, you can see that the formatting's correct. Well, at least some of it is. I implemented the italics about halfway through creating the table so far, so some of these I'll need to manually fix, but yeah, very happy with it. So I guess the point of this video is to get you thinking about outside of the box methods. You know, Excel is a very powerful tool for data manipulation. With all the formulas that you can use inside it, you can do some really cool things. So if we go and have a look here, some of the things that I'm doing, and I kind of need a monster here. Give me a sec. I think I've got, yeah, there we go, got an example. Alright, so you can see a lot of things going on here. So I'm using the formulas in this case to look at this line of text and basically say I need to pull out the type of monster that it is. Alright, so I've got the size, which has been pulled out over here. Where is it? There it is, Gargantuan. So that's just using a simple left command to take the first word from this section here. Then I've got the second word getting pulled out. That's the type, and that's getting pulled out over onto here. You can see sometimes it pulls out with a comma at the end, and sometimes it doesn't. So I've got a little trigger here to check for that and basically clean it up if necessary. Then everything after that little comma there gets pulled out as the alignment. Similarly with the armor class, I take the number after armor class and I get the 17 out and I put that into the armor class and I add in the natural armor if necessary. So, as I said, I really can't teach you this stuff. This is advanced techniques, and I'm not offering all my assistants to help teach you this stuff. This is, if you want to learn this sort of mechanics, you need to go away and actually do the research. But it's absolutely possible. And because the Realmworks import tool now supports the importing of formatting, if you can get the formatting working inside of here and inside of your techniques, you basically import it directly like that, which is fantastic. We'll just go in and we'll show you the VB, just for anyone who wants to play around with this. So I've got two things going on basically. I've got this sheet here, which is the Toma Horror sheet, and I've got some code in here that's basically it's not doing much, to be honest. So this first line here basically removes all the bolding from the row that's getting manipulated. So this one here, it looks at row 2 and then basically takes out all the bolding, so that I can put it back in. And I just do that to make sure it's nice and clean and the same every time. And then basically these lines here are basically defining variables. So variables are like empty boxes where you store information. Then these bits here are looking at the length of the cells that are involved inside of this. This one here is turning the divider A variable into just something that contains a space. Again, we're looking at the length, and then what it does is it goes, alright, we're going to make cell AN2 equal to cell C17, add a space, and D17. So if we look at what that's actually doing, we come over here, C17 comes down to here, so it's looking at this line here, and it's going, I'm going to make sure it equals this. And I might have an issue there. Yeah, we can look at this one, same thing, so same concept. it basically pulls out the content, and I do have an issue there. Yeah, I've got all sorts of broken stuff going on, and I've just cut and paste some errors in, I reckon. I'll have to fix that. That's all right. But anyway, it's basically pulling out the title into this cell here. It pulls out the description text into these cells over here, and then that VBA code is effectively just putting it back together, but doing it in a way that it can apply the formatting. So this line here basically is just a with statement that basically applies the bold section to the first length. So part 1 length A, it is C17. It basically bolds that. If we go down here, I've got another one going on where it's basically making one section italics. So again, very simple. And basically, I've got one section of code for each cell that's getting copied in. I've got some stuff that I've commented out that I don't like. All right, so it's pretty simple. The only other thing going on inside of this is a button. And the button effectively is just activating a macro that I recorded manually, and all that macro does is copy text. So it basically comes into here, takes this row 2 worth of data, adds it into the top of the table. That's it. Very simple. But obviously the result is significantly quicker, so it's a good result for all involved. So yeah, very, very good way to sort of come into Realmworks, and you do need to do a little bit of cleanup, but not much at all. And as you can see, you get a monster topic very, very quickly and very efficiently. So I'm not unhappy with that at all. So anyway, just something really to get you thinking, I guess. Get you thinking outside of the square a little bit, and there's not going to be many of us probably that go down this path and try these sort of things out, but I do know there is a small handful of us doing this. Another thing you can do is look for JSON files or CSV files on the internet. There's lots of them out there where people have put content into things like websites and stuff, and you can use those files and basically try and manipulate the text in a way that you remove all of the code formatting and leaving you with just a spreadsheet. That's another way that you can do this sort of thing. But again, very successful, but you do need to have a sort of really good understanding of Microsoft Excel, or at least another spreadsheet program. So anyway, guys, this has been Advanced Data Entry Techniques. I hope it sort of opened your mind a little bit, and yeah, good luck. I'll happily post a link to my file eventually if someone wants it. I'll just get some of the errors fixed and people can play around with it and see how I've done things. But thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you guys on the forums.